Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Movie Mayhem. I'm joined by my co-host Chase Morgan Hewlett, but we also have a special guest today as well joining us for the first time on the Shield of Hope channel. Give her a round of applause. It is Kat, soon to be Hewlett.
God, why do I sound like...
You sound like Mickey Mouse.
That was a very heavily Mickey Mouse impression. But anyway, thank you for joining us, Kat, and we're interested to hear your list. For the audience that doesn't know, we are doing our top 5 with honorable mention Christmas movies of all time. So, Chase, first of all, I want to ask both of you, what does the Christmas season mean to you guys in general now?
I'm going to go first.
It's definitely a time for family. It's just like a happy season. It's like be thankful for everything. It's kind of like a bigger secondary Thanksgiving to me. Like it's just happy.
That's just happy.
Happy. That's my answer. It's super short.
That's okay. My answer would be to more celebrate the birth of Jesus. That would be my answer. But it is a time with family and a time of joy. But I think it's also a time to kind of look at the good side of life. And then when you get into the new year, you're kind of still in that spirit. So it kind of helps you, end the year on a good note. That way next year you start on a good note. So I kind of like that idea. But for me, mainly it's about Jesus.
And to me, it's a time of memories and also reflection too. I mean, I know you could say reflection being January. I kind of pin the Christmas through New Year's, kind of together and say, hey, it's a reflection on what to be thankful for, what's to come, and what to be thankful for as far as what happened. So it's one of those situations where you can sit back, relax, enjoy time with family and friends, make new memories, but also remember the old. And for the people that are with us currently in life, for the people that have moved on. So anyway, I don't know which one of you wants to go first, but we'll go with our number 5 films to number 1. And then let's do this. We'll go 5 through 2, honorable mentions, and then we'll give our ones.
Alrighty. Well, I think it should be ladies first.
Oh,
so,
okay.
Kat, what's your number 5?
Honestly, it's the new Scrooge that was on Netflix just recently, the animated one where they sing. I just have Luke Evans it was so great what he did. That high note in the one song was phenomenal, and I think that's what sold the whole movie. But also they made them why are the characters hot? They made them hot. They did. Look at him. He's looking him up.
It came out in 2022. It's on Netflix.
It is.
I can see, Chase, that hers is going to be more based off how the actors look. I can tell right away than the story, but that's okay.
No.
Twilight's in there somewhere. I know it's coming. I
didn't even think about that one.
Anyway, okay, so Scrooge 2022 is your number 5.
It was so good. Okay, but the story of the songs were really good. It wasn't just the characters. They did a really good job on the animation and the songs, honestly. Now you can go. I'm done now.
I want to make sure I get the date right. My number 5 is a movie. It's also a Netflix film called Claws. Came out 2019. It was nominated for Best Animated Film. Didn't win, but so it's just like a different tale on Santa Claus, where it's not just like this magical creature, that it's someone up in the North Pole that builds toys, and he lost his wife, so he doesn't build toys anymore. But then the neighboring town are like fighting against each other, and he gives toys to kids, and it makes them feel better. And then the news gets spread across all the North Pole and kind of gets spread across the world. And there's this postman that has to do some service.
He has to send 500.
Yeah,
5,000.
No, 6,000. He has to send 6,000 letters. So he has to do his service up there, and that's like the worst spot to do your service at. And he has to send 6,000 letters. And then he meets this guy, and then the whole Santa tale just kind of unfolds. It's a really interesting take on Santa Claus. And J.K. Simmons plays, Santa. And I thought it was David Spade that voiced the mailman, but it's not. But if you go watch it, Donnie, it sounds like David Spade. It just does. So it's on Netflix. It's awesome. So that's my number 5.
2 films in which I have not seen, but I will check out because they're both on the same platform, so I can do that. I'm going to do a little bit of a throwback here to 2002. This is actually New Song wrote the song for this one. In case you guys don't know, it's a tearjerker featuring Rob Lowe. It is the movie Christmas Shoes. It's one of those. I don't know if you two have ever seen Christmas Shoes, but it's one of those films in which I'm not going to spoil the ending because it's sad. So obviously it involves passing on and like being thankful again for what you have. But Rob Lowe basically plays the side character in which he's a person at the convenience store. And as I'm not going to even try to attempt to sing the song that New Song did, but the little boy comes up to him and he needs money to buy these shoes because his mother always talked about ballet and dancing, and his mother's on her deathbed. And so that's what the song was, and that is what the movie is. So yeah, it is a tearjerker to start the holiday season, but every time I watch it, I cry, and it makes you be a little bit more thankful for each and every day. Kat. I don't think it's on a streaming platform. You can find it. I won't say it's a Hallmark film because it wasn't a Hallmark film, but you can definitely see it on Hallmark. It just wasn't originally produced by Hallmark, I do not believe. It's one of those that you might just have to keep scrolling. It plays very often during the holiday season on cable, so you might be able to find it there. But if not, I'm sure somewhere online has it. Well then don't watch it. I'll send you the boy. They didn't even have. It's funny, off topic. But when I bought Oppenheimer, of course, you get like the 3 set where you get like the DVD, the Blu-ray, and like the QR code where you can get it online digitally. I was gonna say I could give you the digital code because I know we have the DVD, but I think that was before the time of digital codes back in 2002. So I can't even do that. So I'm sorry. I don't have a platform in which you can watch it on. But if you get a chance, rent it. Maybe Amazon has it on right now for Amazon Prime. Who knows? It might be on there. Kat, you're number 4.
My number 4 is what his number 5 was, and it's Klaus. So I don't feel like I really need to explain it again just because he already did.
Definitely watch that film.
I just want to say that I'm the one that introduced him to it. So he only likes it because of me.
Well, I didn't think I'd like it, honestly. So when I saw like the quick trailer on Netflix, I was like, I don't know. And then I watched it and I was like, this is amazing. So
I'm a big cartoon person. I love animated anything pretty much. So I immediately clicked on it. So yeah.
My number 4, as I'm chewing on a kiss.
And if you say Kat's number 5, we're gonna have issues here.
That'd be funny.
My number 4 is A Christmas Carol from 2009. It's when Jim Carrey plays Scrooge. It's kind of for number 5, but a better Scrooge. I think The Christmas Carol is a very good story because you read the title and you think, oh, it's going to be like this really happy film. And it is daunting. It's haunting to watch. There's some pretty dark moments in that story. And the cartoon does a really good job at capturing everything that the book had. And I thought it was just really good filmmaking as well. And it's the director of the Back to the Future. No, wait, it's not. Who is it? I'm sorry. I'm done.
We're doing great.
It is. Excuse me. It's the director from Back to the Future. So you kind of get that nostalgic feel, but they did a really good job of capturing it. And Jim Carrey did such a good job. He wasn't his regular goofy self. He played like a serious, grumpy character until the end. Then he got goofy because he was happy. But I think it's a good, meaningful story. And I think it's something that all of us kind of need to go through. We kind of need to look at our past and then the present of what people say about us and then our future if we don't get right. And I think that's a really good message on like, keep a hold of yourself. Don't let yourself run loose and what you do and say does affect people and it can affect you in the long run in a bad way. So I just think it has a good message. So yeah, Christmas Carol.
We actually have a local theater that does Christmas Carol every year. When I say local theater, it's more like the performance play theater than a movie theater. So it's actually pretty fun. If you get the chance, go watch it, whether it's on a play or whether it's in theaters or on TV, because Christmas Carol is something where, again, has a lot of meaning behind it, can put you in the vibe and make you be thankful as well. Number 4, Chase, on my list was going back to 1994. I did not know this film was older than me. I'm not gonna lie, I grew up watching it, but I did not know it was older than me. That is The Santa Claus with Tim Allen. Chase, I don't. It's probably about your age, Chase. 1994.
Thanks.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Jeez. I just turned 29 today, so
Happy birthday, Chase, and everybody in the chat. Give him a thumbs up and a maybe a little like little tombstone emoji. Who knows?
Santa Claus is good. They made 3 movies and then a TV series, so
They
obviously it kept.
And the TV series is still going, which I thought it was a limited series in Disney. This is where I know we're off topic, but I know that this is where Disney kind of loses me with their animated series or with their limited run series like Kenobi, because I thought the Santa Claus, when they brought it back last year or 2 years ago, whenever that was, it was going to be a limited series, and now they're back for another one. But the original, I appreciate. Even number 3, I believe, with Jack Frost. I think that was one with Jack Frost. That was still good. I didn't care for, I believe, the second one, but the original is where I go back to, definitely, with the Santa Claus. And plus it has Tim Allen, which I think is actually one of the most underrated actors in Hollywood.
If only Wilson was in the Santa Claus with Tim Allen as his neighbor. Merry Christmas,
That was such a good TV show. I loved Home Improvement.
Home Improvement is great. Actually, at Comic-Con, Kat and I met the lady that's in his home, like Tim the Toolman Taylor show. You know, the lady that like shows off the things.
Yeah.
We saw her at Comic-Con.
Is it Heidi?
It's Heidi. Yeah. We saw her at Comic-Con in the outfit. She was in the outfit too. So
wow, look at that, and it still fits after all these years.
I'm just gonna note that I don't remember this.
You don't remember seeing her?
No.
We also saw the original Tinkerbell. She was there too. You saw them. You
I
just
probably did.
Anyway.
I probably saw, but don't remember.
Kat, you're number 3.
My number 3 is The Grinch, with Jim Carrey as well, because I watch it every single year. Sometimes I watch it in the middle of summer. I love that one so much. He did such a good job playing the Grinch, and you don't think about it, but the smile he does, he can actually just do that in real life. Like, it's a little bit of computer animation, but for the most part, it's just him smiling very creepily. But it's a good story. It kind of reminds you of the real like meaning of Christmas, that it's not about the gifts. It's about family and spending time together.
And you relate to the Grinch.
You do.
As you get into your late 20s.
As you get older, the Grinch is actually the hero of the story, not the villain.
Honestly. They're playing Mariah Carey in frickin' October.
Yep.
I'm not here for that.
What is the deal?
I mean, time out, people. Okay, I can live with Christmas music in October. The Mariah Carey one, I never really liked that song anyway. Like, that's probably just, I don't know if it's because it is overplayed during the holiday season, or it's just one of those situations where like that song does not vibe with me. But I never liked that song, but I can understand if that's your pet peeve of having Mariah Carey in October. But don't bash all the Christmas songs in October, Kat. Come on now.
I mean, I was listening to Christmas music very early on, like probably towards the end of October. But
We were.
I'm a big Halloween nut, so it kind of offends me when I see Christmas lights in October. I'm like, can I just get spooky first, and then I'll get festive.
Just get the color changing ones where it's like it could be orange until like November 1st, and then they switch to like the all different colors. That's what they should do.
Yeah.
Invest.
I do. I don't do cutesy. I do spooky.
Yeah.
I want you to have a heart attack when you walk into my house.
And I do.
He does. So I've succeeded.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Grinch.
Me.
Chase, number 3.
Number 3 is The Polar Express from 2004. I've loved that film since I was a kid. I think I saw it in theaters as well, because we always went to theaters for my birthday, because my birthday's in December today, obviously. And I think it came out around Christmas, and I went to it. If not, I still believe I went and saw it in theaters. So anyway, I love the book. It was read to me when I was a kid, and then movie came out, and it was really cool. I just love this story. It's another one of those films that have a really good meaning. It's all about believing, and the kid's really trying to prove that Santa's not real, and then he gets proven wrong. But I just like the whole process and the train coming into town. The animation's beautiful, and Tom Hanks did a really good job playing every single character. You didn't just have like just good characters. You had the bad hobo character on the top of the train. And I've never seen a movie that drifted a train onto a track. That's pretty cool. So Polar Express is number 3.
I remember watching that one when I was a kid, and I thought it was the most boring thing on the planet. But then I got older, and I was like, oh, I get it. It's okay. It's making allusions to okay. Like it's very much something that I think you appreciate more as an adult.
It did have scary moments. Like when I was a kid, the scene with all the dolls in the one,
Horrifying.
it's horrifying. And then, yeah, I was scared a little bit as a kid, but I think it has a good message overall, and you learn something. Well, they learn something, and in turn, you learn something.
So I actually, for one of the, because again, even though it doesn't show it, I can lean back and see a Christmas tree that's bare with just like lights and a top hat on. One of the ornaments that I actually had as a kid growing up was they actually got me the bell, like that you could actually ring, and it still says on the inside like it rings loud for those that believe. Well, short story, it doesn't ring anymore. So sad. No, belief left. You know, after turning 21, the faith in the world just kind of goes down. So you're just like you don't believe in anything anymore. It's the honest truth.
That's fair.
Wow, this got
Well,
dark.
you started drinking at that age.
Okay, number 3. Number 3, Chase. This is going to. How do I want to put this? This is going to be controversial. This is probably the first controversial film on the list that could potentially be a Christmas movie to some. It probably isn't to others. Number 3 on my list is The Greatest Showman. So, hear me out. I know it's not just the end scene where it snows and the elephant comes through and they go to the play and stuff like that. Yes, I mean that makes it feel like Christmas vibe at the end. But it was released, I believe, in December, if not late November, and it has that good family-friendly feeling. And I will actually claim, and yes, this is a big claim, that it is the best musical of all time. I will say that. I know that that's going to raise some ears, but it was. You know how like some musicals, and we talked about this on the Golden Review sometimes, Chase, when we watch musicals, how sometimes it's either overplayed with music or it's like drawn out to where like it gets boring. I feel like The Greatest Showman was a good mixture of songs with like 7, 8 songs, and it also had a quick pace, and it was over within like the hour and like 20 minutes. So, but it is a good family-friendly film, and I deem it as a Christmas movie not only because when it came out, but also because, like I said, there's snow at the end with the elephants, and who doesn't love snow and elephants?
I don't think that Snow and Elephants equate. I agree that it was a really good musical. I don't know that I agree that it's Christmas, because just because it came out during Christmas does not make it a Christmas movie. But it does have the
That is
same
true.
values,
That is true, because The Hobbit came out.
and that's definitely
Around
not
Christmas.
Christmas.
Well, Harry Potter's Christmas. So I believe that The Greatest Showman is more Christmas than Harry Potter.
I don't think Harry Potter's Christmas.
I think
Well,
that
ABC channel will definitely disagree with you.
Well, they suck.
Well,
Sorry.
Harry Potter has more Christmas scenes in it, though. So, like, I can kind of understand where people would go with that, but I still, even as the biggest Harry Potter nerd you'll probably ever meet, I wouldn't agree that it's Christmas.
So my definition of a Christmas movie is if you took Christmas out of the story,
It wouldn't make sense.
it wouldn't make sense.
That's fair.
So if I will bring that up with one of my honorable mentions, and you know what film I'm talking about, but
I know it's coming. But you cannot convince me number 3 on my list, The Greatest Showman, because I do believe it is a Christmas film.
I'm not going to try to convince you. I'm just saying I disagree.
She disagrees.
She's like, you're just wrong. It's fine. No.
Your Honor.
You're entitled to your
I have something to
opinion, it's
say.
just-
So, okay, this is a question because I brought this up earlier about how on Instagram, which I could check right now and see if there's more, but do you think that Die Hard's a Christmas movie?
Yes, 100%.
Oh, but I want to know about
This
Cat.
movie-
I want to know about Cat.
I don't care enough about Die Hard to honestly give you a good answer. I just don't care about the movie.
Your Honor, she is mentally insane, so her opinion is no longer valid.
Okay, listen, no.
That's how I view that.
I would argue no, because if you took Christmas out of it, it would still be a thing. Because it's not the only time you have office parties.
Yeah,
They have
that's-
office parties all the time.
It was specifically a Christmas office party, which means if they didn't have Christmas, the thing would not happen.
No.
Don't fight with me, woman.
Like, maybe they're celebrating that someone got a promotion. It could literally be anything and still work without Christmas. So your argument just went down the toilet.
No. It was a Christmas party. If they didn't have a Christmas party,
I could break the rules. I could break the rules real quick and do a 3-part A if you would like me to, because I knew it would be controversial, so I did have a backup.
No, you're good.
Okay.
You're good. We can move to number 2. You're wrong, lady. It's fine. That happens. You moved around a lot in the military. You're not quite right in that movie. It's fine. Whatever.
You're sleeping on the couch.
You know what? It's pretty comfortable.
This Christmas, the Hewlett family was broken.
Christmas with the Hewletts. Well, she's not a Hewlett.
I say I'm not quite. I gotta wait.
That's true.
Gotta wait till next October.
All right, number 2, Kat.
My number 2, it's gonna be A White Christmas with Bing Crosby, which you guys just watched for the Golden Review. I love that one. I watch it every Christmas. It's like a tradition in my family that after we open presents on Christmas, we watch A White Christmas.
That's my tradition too. And yes, Donnie, Bing Crosby's an actor.
Yes, it was newsflash to me. You can watch the Golden Review for the purest of reactions, but I did not know that. I thought he was just a singer. I mean, technically, anymore nowadays, I guess singers do turn into actors. I mean, heck, what Taylor Swift had a gig in like The Giver too for a short little scene. Plus, I guess she has that tour movie out, so she is quote unquote an actor on the big screen now. I don't know. Give me a break. But still, yes, Bing Crosby is an actor. Did not know. But also, Chase, before we move off the White Christmas topic and you give your number 2, I would like to. Does Kat know what you rated A White Christmas?
8. I rated an 8.
Okay.
You did an 8.
I thought it was a 7. Okay, but either way, I'm surprised it was low for him. I'm surprised that was low. I expected a 10. I really did. Not gonna lie.
The fun fact about A White Christmas, though, is that oh my goodness, I forgot her name already.
Vera Ellen.
She didn't actually sing any of the songs. They only hired her for the acting part because she could dance really, really well. But someone else sang her parts. The only song I think she actually sang was the one where they're singing about snow.
Snow.
Good job.
No one else joined me.
No, we didn't.
Chase, number 2.
Number two was really hard to pick a movie. I had a difficult time because I was like, I know I like Christmas movies more than the last 3 I listed, but what are they? And I really dug down deep and tried to figure out what is something that I have to watch every year, and I just love it. And I picked Home Alone from 1990. It is a classic. It is the film that just makes you laugh. I love Joe Pesci in it because he went from Home Alone to Goodfellas. And that is 2 different types of movies. So and he had the shortest Oscar winning speech ever. And all he said was, thanks, and walked off stage. So good for him. But I think Home Alone is a classic. In part of it, it's just a great story. And it's kind of, as a kid, you're like, oh my gosh, imagine you being left home alone for Christmas and you think you'd really like it. But at the end, he doesn't like it. And he's glad his family's back, even though his families are nuts, especially his older brother. What was his name? Buzz. Yeah. Buzz sucks. But no, just a great story overall. And it's really funny. So, and Home Alone 2 is going to be in one of my honorable mentions, but I love that one just as much as the first Home Alone. So maybe I can do a Kill Bill thing where they're both one movie, and that could be my number 2. But I love those movies. They're just funny. Now I don't count 3 or 4. They don't exist. We don't talk about those.
I didn't even know there was a 3 and 4. So
they don't exist.
Okay, cool.
So, but yeah, Home Alone.
Well, I think, Chase, a lot of people would have Home Alone on their list, if not number 1. So you are not alone in this conversation, because I know my sister watches it. Like, she'll put it on the TV and watch it, like Home Alone 1, like 5 times in a row. Like, she just keeps putting it on in the background, just like it's ridiculous, honestly. But good for her. Good for everybody out there that loves that movie. I do love it. It's in my honorable mentions. It is not at the top 2 of my list. Number 2 for me is Christmas with the Cranks. We talked about Christmas with the Hewletts. Christmas with the Cranks is number 2 on my list. Another Tim Allen film. He's just a star of Christmas. For anybody that doesn't know Christmas with the Cranks, as their daughter leaves for the Peace Corps, the Cranks decide to take a cruise and skip Christmas. Their neighbors get upset with the decorating and stinging the Boy Scouts on a tree. And yeah, so basically they're on this, they're on the set to skip, they're on a mindset to skip Christmas, and they get a call from their daughter that said she's coming back and hopes to celebrate at the family and neighborhood Christmas party. So then they got to rush to get things back around. It's a good comedy. Has Jamie Lee Curtis as well. And guys, I'm assuming you guys have probably seen Christmas with the Cranks, but if not, give it a watch.
I think I saw it in theaters.
I've never seen it.
My mom was a big fan. You should watch it.
The look you just gave me.
I figured you haven't seen it. There's a lot you haven't seen. You never saw. Oh, when I can go there. You know,
I was like, what?
I love this woman.
I believe we should go into honorable mentions here. So, Kat, would you like to list off all your honorable mentions that you might have?
Honestly, any of the Scooby-Doo holiday specials, they are so great. I freaking love Scooby-Doo. I have a tattoo of Scooby-Doo, a whole thing of it. So that, yeah. Yeah. The I think one of the newer ones is Haunted Holidays or something like that.
Haunted Holiday. Well, I guess it's about haunting.
Yeah, they're mystery solvers of ghosts.
Okay, so Scooby-Doo holiday ones.
Yeah, honestly, that's it. That's my whole honorable mention list. Just any Scooby-Doo. There's an original one from the 70s its name is That Snow Ghost. Love that one. But really I don't have any more. I just
Really?
Those are my
There's
favorite.
one I thought you'd mention that you haven't.
Which one's that?
A Nightmare Before Christmas.
That's true.
You did not mention, because
To be
if you
honest,
take Christmas
skip it
out of that, it wouldn't make sense.
That's true. I do that. You know what? Yeah, you're right. The reason I skip over is because I watch that one year round. It does not matter what time of day or when it is. I will always be watching that one all the time.
It's like a November movie. You
Yeah.
watch it between Halloween and Christmas.
Yeah. So I wasn't thinking that. I was thinking like specifically like Christmas movies.
Okay.
But yeah, no, I'll include that. I do love Night. Those are my two then. Or however many Scooby-Doo ones there are. That's the number.
That's a lot.
What?
A lot.
I've probably seen them all too.
So my honorable mentions, one of them is Daddy's Home 2. That is a Christmas film because they're getting together for family. Daddy's Home, the first one, I don't think it's a Christmas film, but the second one definitely is. And it's really funny. For being a, they continued on to making a second one. They did a really good job at it. I thought it was pretty funny. I think Mark Wahlberg and Will Ferrell act well together. So it's just a fun, happy family movie. And they actually sang one of my favorite Christmas songs at the end of that movie, which is Don't They Know It's Christmas Time at All. So that's pretty cool. So that's one of mine. Die Hard was the other one. And then one of them, I have to mention it because we just reviewed it on the Golden Review, and that's Miracle on 34th Street. I'm going to mention both of them, though. The old one that we reviewed and the 94 remake. I grew up with that movie because that was my dad's favorite Christmas movie. And I love that story. I think it's great. I think the old one, I gave a rating of a 10 because I loved it so much. So yeah, I love those. I love those ones for sure. And then do I have another one?
I don't know, but that's surprising that that's your dad's favorite.
Miracle on 34th Street?
Mm-hmm.
It was just his favorite. I think my mom's was White Christmas.
See, all I ever see on your dad's TV is Westerns. It's kind of weird to think of him watching anything else.
Yeah. There's only John Wayne on my dad's TV.
Yeah, that's it.
Which is not a problem.
No, it's really repetitive.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry, continue. Do you have a third?
Yeah. It's
fourth.
With Christmas, it's hard. Like I can put White Christmas on there. I can put The Grinch. The Grinch is really funny. But no, I think that would be it for my honorable mentions. Donnie, what about yours?
So my honorable mentions that have not been named yet, which I expect maybe one to pop up on number one in one of your lists. I'm going to put Elf on mine as an honorable mention.
Movie.
Frosty the Snowman, the animated cartoon. I do not remember when that came out. I want to say probably 80s-ish by the time that 2D animation came out. I do not remember what year, but that would always be playing on loop on ABC. And I also have the one that wasn't mentioned, National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. I can't go a holiday without watching that film. It is entertaining, to say the least.
It is so funny.
I love that. Kat, do you love anything? Do you? You just like rip out my soul every time I talk. I'm getting like judged.
Sorry.
It's okay. No, first I'm told that it's not a Christmas movie for The Greatest Showman. That Die Hard's not a Christmas movie, and now you hate National Lampoon. I don't know what else is left.
Well, you can. No, you don't keep eating the candy. You've had like 4 pieces.
I don't give a rip. I bought them. I can have as many as I want. I totally forgot about National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. That's such a good. I forgot about Elf. Elf is my Thanksgiving movie. Okay. So when you're done with Thanksgiving, that's the way to start the Christmas spirit.
I think that there was one Christmas that we spent with his mom. We stayed for like the whole month of December, and the only 2 movies that played on the TV were Elf or Lampoon's National Christmas or whatever it is. Whatever.
And Christmas Vacation.
The Christmas Vacation, whatever it's called. I don't even know what it's called. Those are the only 2 movies that played, and by the end of that time that we were there, I was so sick and tired of seeing those movies. Like, if I went the rest of my life without seeing either one of them, I'd be fine.
But Elf is pretty good.
Elf
is good. This is the 20th anniversary.
Again, and I feel like I've seen it enough for those 20 years.
It is crazy that Elf is on his 20th year anniversary.
I know.
That's crazy to me.
It's younger than you, yeah. Oh gosh, yeah. I remember when he came out. We thought it was hilarious.
Wow, you just aged yourself.
I did. I do age myself.
He aged himself just today.
Yeah, he did. You're right.
Cool. This is fun, guys. All right. Do you have any more in your honorable mentions?
No, that was it. Because Home Alone was mentioned, and then, yeah. Actually, I'll do one more. Rob Lowe makes the list again. Holiday in the Wild. It's on Netflix. I know that you could argue that like you could take Christmas out of it because it's just like a setting more than it is like the character plot and development. But basically, to give it a rundown, there was I believe she was a doctor or whatever, but either way, she got divorced and went through a midlife crisis. So she went to Africa, met a tour guide, Rob Lowe, and Rob Lowe showed her around. They were saving elephants, which again, elephants comes back into the Christmas fold for some reason. Saving elephants and kind of just being hunky with Rob Lowe. Because Rob Lowe, who wouldn't want to get hunky with Rob Lowe? Because Rob Lowe's amazing.
Yeah. You know, a good movie that I just thought of is Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, but the one from the 90s. So the one that John Goodman is Santa Claus. It is hard to find that movie. Really hard to find that movie. So if you get a chance, you should watch that one. That's really good.
You know, there's also the stop motion ones, like the very much Christmas classics.
Oh, the Island of the Misfit Toys.
Yeah, I love those ones. I should have said those. Those ones are awesome. I love those ones. I watch them every year.
Actually, any of them. We should watch them. What are we doing?
What's
that guy's name on Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer? What is his name? He goes, like, what's his name? You know what I'm talking about?
You talking about the big Yeti monster, or which one?
No, it's the guy with the big...
with the pickaxe.
Yeah, and he's like.
Honestly, I love that you just did that. It's great. You did it twice.
Yeah, I don't know names. I'll be quite honest with you. Characters and names sometimes just escape me.
No, I know what they look like.
It's so rude.
Kat, as he's looking, do you want to give your number 1 on the list?
My number 1 is going to be A Christmas Carol with Jim Carrey. I love that one. As soon as it came out, I watch it again every year, and it was such a good story. And honestly, I think that was one of the first movies that I like really started to watch when I was older, because I watched it when I was younger, didn't understand it, scared the crap out of me.
It is scary.
But then I watched it again when I was older, and I was like, this is such a good story. And the animation is, even as an adult, is still very creepy. So I think they did a really good aspect on not making it too... I think that movie isn't really super... It is kid-friendly, but at the same time, the story itself isn't. Because there's a lot of dark themes and ideas that I don't think kids would understand. But I think that one, they did a really good job of blending it to where it's really fun for adults and also really fun for kids.
Have you seen that one?
I have, yeah.
It's a good movie. They did a really good job. So.
Yeah, we were actually unpacking when I put it on because I just wanted a background noise, and I've seen it like probably like 1,000 times at this point. But Chase hadn't, so I was doing stuff, and he was just like glued to the screen because
I saw it when it first came out in
And then,
2009, but then I didn't see it again. So I'm glad I watched it. It was awesome.
it's really good. That's my number one.
His name is Yukon Cornelius.
Okay.
Would not have guessed that.
I would never have guessed that. But now that you say it, I know it. Like, it sounds familiar now.
Yeah.
If you guys have any Christmas parties coming up, that'll be number one on the trivia list, and you'll be like, I remember it.
It's
Now that you know it once, you're gonna hear it, and you're gonna be like, I know that.
Right.
Yep. Yeah. You're welcome, everyone.
Chase, number one.
My number one is It's a Wonderful Life from 1946. And I'm going to just read off what it's about. It'd be easier. So it is about an angel that is sent from heaven to help a desperately frustrated businessman by showing him what life would have been like if he had never existed. And it has probably the most famous Christmas scene in a film. And it's when they're at the tree and the bell rings, and she's like, I was every time a bell rings, an angel gains its wings. And they're singing "Oh Herald," the angel singing.
Oh, hark.
Oh, hark, the herald sing. Yeah. But anyway, that is my favorite Christmas movie. It has an awesome message, and it has James Stewart, who is awesome. I love James Stewart. And it's, I don't know, just every time I watch that film, that's just my favorite. It's what I close my Christmas season with. I think it's a good message. I think it's a pretty interesting idea too. I love those ideas that you kind of have to drag someone through the darkness, and at the end they come to light. Kind of like with Christmas Carol and Polar Express and It's a Wonderful Life. So I think it just has a good message and a good way to start the new year. So that's why I watch it at the end of Christmas. So yep, that is my.
Yeah, but all those stories, like the ones that like get really dark and then really light at the end, I think that's just a representative of like your whole year and life in general. Like, it can get really bad, but by Christmas, usually it's like, you know what, I'm happy. It's bright, it's colorful. It's just a very festive and happy season. So
Yep.
It makes sense.
And I just love that movie, which is going to be our final film we review on the Golden Review for our Christmas series, is that one. So, and it's also the most watched Christmas film of all time.
The most watched. Boy, I feel like Elf would like, I don't know. How do you estimate most watched? That is a great question.
They had a big article about it, and they talked about
It has years on Elf.
Yeah, I think
Just
just a couple.
But that's crazy to think that something that old is like the most watched.
Well, at the time
let me look it up.
that I looked up, that's what it was.
We need to fact check this. Anyways, as you're doing that, Kat, to get us an official answer, I'll say mine because it's probably a film which neither of you have heard. It is called The Ultimate Gift. Number one. If you guys have you guys first of all ever saw The Ultimate Gift?
I kind of need to see the.
Well, I'll give a plot synopsis as you're going through that. So, a grandfather of our main character's life, he had passed away, but in order to get the family inheritance that's due to his grandson, he has to go through what I call kind of like a Christmas Carol, where you have like the Ghost of Christmas past, present, and future, but he has to go help out 3 different people that his grandfather sends him to. So he learns life lessons along the way, as well as not only maybe meeting the love of his life as well along the way. But it's just something that puts you in the Christmas spirit because, like, again, it's like the Ghost of Christmas past, present, and future, where you go through the stages of your life. He's not really a teenager, but he kind of has an angsty teen type mentality where he's just like, hey, I'm done with this. I'm over it. I don't care about the inheritance. But the journey leads him on to be a better person. And I think that's all we can strive for in the new year and over the Christmas season.
I don't think I've ever seen that, but it's on Prime, so might have to go check it out. I've never seen that before. You picked more Hallmark movies than I thought you would. I'll be honest with you.
I didn't think that was a Hallmark movie.
You picked more I am a 40-year-old mother during Christmas time movies than I thought you would.
When you grow up in a household where the mother controls the TV during the holiday season, that typically happens.
That does.
You're wrong. Wonderful Life only ranks at 9.
Okay.
It's at number 9. Most watched.
Well, the article I read before, at the time,
This is
it was.
yeah, this is as 2022. The most watch is Home Alone and then How the Grinch Stole Christmas. Those are the top 2.
So Home Alone is still doing it. Good job, Home Alone.
The Grinch makes sense, actually. Now the question is, do they combine all the Grinches together, or is it just a solo Grinch?
I think it's just the Jim Carrey one because the highest grossing one is the Grinch. So, no, I think actually I take that back because the Grinch is the one with Jim Carrey, right? Because it's just that's the title is The Grinch. How the Grinch Stole Christmas. Isn't that the cartoon title?
How the Grinch Stole Christmas is the cartoon, yes. But there's also another cartoon that came out, but I don't know if that was called The Grinch. Remember there was like a 2018 one that came out?
That one does not exist.
Oh,
Well, no,
that's the one.
I know it doesn't
Right?
exist,
Yeah.
but yeah, that one.
Actually, that was pretty good. I liked it. I thought it was fun.
There's nothing beats Jim Carrey.
Of course not.
There are some
Okay,
people that
so-
were crazy enough to say that one, that the newest one that came out, topped them all, and I completely disagree with that.
No, Jim Carrey's still top.
So you are right. But that was an article I read a while back.
Yeah.
But I did just look up, and it is ranked as number 1 most inspirational movie of all time by AFI. So it does have a ranking.
Yeah, it is very inspirational. I will give you that.
Well-
But it is not the most watched. I mean, I've never seen it until I met you. So
It is still number 1 on Antenna TV.
honestly, it's a really good one. I actually think you'd enjoy that one.
Well, we'll find out because I'm going to have to review it with Chase here coming up on the Golden Reviews. So we will find out if I like it or not. Real quick question to wrap things up before we go to the send off, where people can find you at on social media and on YouTube, because we have another YouTuber here and her name is Kat as well, that she can introduce her channel this time. One last question for both of you. What was the worst Christmas film that you've ever seen?
Ooh, you didn't warn me about this one.
I'm not prepared for that.
Greatest Showman.
At least he admits it's a Christmas film. I'll take it. It's a win.
No, the worst Christmas film. I would have to say
Like, how are we ranking that? Like
The worst one you've
Like,
ever
are we-
seen. The worst one you've ever seen.
that you just hate the most,
Yeah.
or
Oh, it could be hate the most. I mean, to you that would be worst. So which one do you hate the most?
you'd say Christmas Vacation.
it's gonna be Christmas Vacation. I don't.
It's a
That
shame.
hurts.
But it's a shame.
Yeah,
Really?
I've just been subjected to watching it too much at this point. So anytime it comes on, I'm just instantly annoyed.
It's so funny though. Like it's so funny.
And it's relatable.
I'm
Yeah.
sure it is. I'm sure it's a great movie for a lot of people. Just not me.
You just got worn out on it.
I did. I really did. I mean, and it came on in the break room at work, and I was just like, I think I'd rather not be on break.
They had a whole cue cards on. He had cue cards of his lines when he was doing his famous like rant because he couldn't memorize it all. So everyone in the family was just holding had these cards on their shirt, and he was just like going off and reading the cue cards.
That's funny.
It's so funny.
Don't get me
I
wrong.
think if
It's
you would have
funny.
watched it like with me and not been over
Exposed.
to it, I think you'd like it.
I'm sure I would, but at this point, it's not about.
I don't think I have a Christmas movie I don't like. I think A Christmas Story is a film I don't care for, but I don't hate it. Like I've watched it and I enjoyed myself, but there's not like a specific one I'm like, I hate that movie. There's not a lot of movies I hate. But there's only one movie I've ever said I hated. And that's A Clockwork Orange. I don't like that movie. It's just really creepy. I don't like it. But that's not Christmas.
That is not Christmas.
What is the one you don't like?
We're going to go on a journey to a galaxy far, far away. In 1978, give me the holiday special. If you've ever seen the Star Wars holiday special, it is one of the worst cinematic, if you want to call it, art pieces of all time, in which George Lucas stripped it from all local networks to never be seen again. But thankfully to YouTube, We have copies and it's revived. So you can watch it if you want to, but be prepared. It is awful. It is truly awful. Actually, that was our, believe it or not, the holiday special in order to get us in the psyche for the new Disney Star Wars films that came out. We watched it before we went to the theaters for the premieres because that's how hyped up we need to get.
Yep. I was going to say, like, yeah, it's pretty rough, but it's better than Last Jedi.
The holiday special? Oh, I mean, this is putting me in a terrible position because I hate with a passion The Last Jedi. But I would much rather watch, at least with the effects and if the holiday special feels like it's like 3 hours long when it's not too. So I think watch The Last Jedi that at least is over and done with. Like if I had to choose an eternity where one of these videos was on loop, I probably would choose The Last Jedi. And that's hard for me to say because I hate that film with a passion.
Yeah. It did have some cool scenes, but yeah. It's pretty rough.
Chase and Kat, where can people find you at on social media?
If you want to look me up on Instagram, it's catalina.bryant. I'll have to change that eventually. Oh, sorry, distraction. I'm also on TikTok at Bryant Catalina, and then I have my YouTube, which is The Book Connection. I review books of all kinds, and I just talk about books because that's my passion.
Books.
If I could have a career and it just said books, that'd be great. That's all I got.
You can find me mostly on Instagram at @ChisMarnieHewlett. And then Donnie and I have a podcast called The Golden Review, where we review films from the Golden Age of Hollywood. And we're doing our Christmas series right now. So you can stop.
No.
Can I finish? You can follow us at The Golden Review. And then on YouTube, I have True Light Pictures. And we just released our trailer to Donnie and I's next short film, Reluctant Blues. So go check that out. And yeah.
Which will be winning awards come 2024.
Heck yeah. Hopefully it will. You know what? It will.
Manifest it. Manifest that.
Well, everybody, thank you for tuning in. This will probably be the last podcast as we end 2023 and begin 2024. So we will see you all in the new year. Thank you for tuning in. And from the bottom of my heart, thank you for watching and listening to Shield Pope Productions. I'm Donnie Shields. Have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.